Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 horror thriller They Live in the Grey, a film that is directed and written by Abel Vang and Burlee Vang, who I think are known as the Vang brothers, and it stars Michelle Krusiek, Ken Kirby, Madeline Grace, Audrey Moore, Ellen Rowe and Bernard Bullen. Now, the film primarily focuses on Michelle Krusiek's character, Claire, who is a child social worker, like a caseworker for children. She has suffered a personal tragedy herself. She lost her son previously, 10 years old, and he was killed with a hit and run, who she blames herself for. It kind of split up her marriage, and she is living a very, very dark life in a sense of she's sharing her life with spirits. In a sense, she can see spirits, they interact with her, and many of them, in actual fact, hurt her. So she's living a tortured life. She is given a case by her boss to go and inspect a family where they think abuse is taking place with the daughter. And as it turns out, she learns that in actual fact, it isn't the parents that are abusing her. It would seem that there is a violent spirit within that house intent on harming the child. It's up to Claire to face her past and also try and help this family. Right, what are my thoughts on They Live in the Grey? Well, let's get rid of the elephant in the room, really. This film is, rightly or wrongly, going to be compared to The Sixth Sense. It is, in a lot of ways, very, very similar. There are also some similarities to Case 39, you know, the Renée Zellweger film. I can't even pronounce her name. But only in a sense of that this woman, Claire, is like a child social worker. That's the only real connection to that movie. There are many similarities here with The Sixth Sense, but I also do think this film is strong enough to stand on its own two feet. I was, in actual fact, really quite entertained with this film. I thought it was superbly made with some tremendous performances that had me gripped throughout the film. That's not to say the film isn't without its faults. In my opinion, I think the film is a little bit too long. It's just over 2 hours long. And I do think there are some issues here with the pacing. There are times when this film leans heavily into like family drama, relationships, grief, loss. For me, I liked all that side of the film, but I think if someone is going into this wanting to watch a more traditional horror film, those aspects of the film may drag for you. But that, again, that's not to say that some of the horror aspects of this film don't really work, because they really do. There is some unnerving imagery going on here when this woman Claire is confronted with these spirits, wherever she may be, whether it be at home, in a hospital, wherever. These spirits that confront her, 90% of them are not pleasant, and how they project themselves is not pleasant. So you can understand it being really quite frightening and terrifying. So there's that's really quite scary and horrific, and some pretty unnerving imagery. And then you've got this spirit in this house that's like making this family's life a living hell, that is in particular targeting the mother and the daughter. And some of the stuff that's going on there is, it's pretty shocking, and it works in regards to horror and all this kind of stuff. So I do think the horror side of it, while it's not Conjuring type over the top and horrific and scary, it's enough to keep you in your seat and engaged in the film, and I thought it really worked. In fact, I thought that the whole tone and blend of the film for me worked. I liked the horror side of it. I thought that was suitably spooky at times. I really liked how it was brave enough to really lean into the grief and the loss and the relationship side of the film and all that kind of stuff. I thought that really, really worked. And it even, for me, managed to deliver a surprising ending and a satisfying ending. I didn't see it coming. The conclusion that we got to the film, I didn't see coming at all. It was pretty good at masking it. But I thought it was a really satisfying way to end the film. So for me, it kind of it ticked that box as well. So I think what you have here is quite a well-made, clever film, and honestly, I really thought that the performances here were really excellent by everybody. I really believed them. I thought they were just great. The reactions to the stuff that are happening that are scary and frightening were absolutely spot on. It does get, and again, I think this leans into the lengthy runtime. It does get to the point in the film where you kind of like every time she sees one of these spirits, and I understand it would be a frightening experience for anybody, but as we learn in the film, it's been happening to her all her life, her seeing these spirits. So you would think that there would be some level of desensitization to these stuff that's going on, but it's almost like every time she sees something, it's the first time again, and she's just shocked and in terror every time something happens. Now, again, I would understand that if everything that she saw led to violence against her, which quite a lot of times it does, but not always. It just seemed like every time she saw a spirit, it was the first time for her to see them almost, and it was just really shocking again. And also as well, the parents with this daughter, and even though there is an explanation given later on as to why they don't really move out and things like that, they do try and touch it on it in the film. For me, if that was my daughter as a father and I knew there was like a spirit targeting my daughter and all this was going on in my house, I'd go and live in a cardboard box or something. You know, you would literally get your ass out of that environment to try and keep your family safe. So I couldn't really get my head around that. But I'm kind of nitpicking there. I think if you like well-made horror thrillers, there's a lot here to enjoy, and I was pretty impressed with this one. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I do think it is well worth your time, and it is available on Shudder right now. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.